Hi, everybody. I'm Charlene Shirk. You're watching Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative minds in the digital space. I'm very excited today that we're going to be talking to Mindi Rosser of Mindi Rosser Marketing because she is coming to us from the beautiful state of Hawaii. Thanks for joining us, Mindi.
So excited to be here. Thank you.
I don't think I've ever started an interview so jealous.
That's funny. Yeah, it's the weather. Yeah, the Hawaii vibes.
Yeah. All right. So tell us what you're doing in Hawaii, what your company is up to.
Yeah, so in Hawaii, I work mostly remotely with the companies that I work with. So it's like being location independent is pretty awesome. I feel like being in Hawaii is actually a great place to be. A lot of the clients, they do lead with that too. I'm so jealous you're in Hawaii. But it also allows, I think, me and my team like the flexibility to work with a lot of different time zones. So people that are in Australia makes it a little easier there on that side of the world. So it's a great place to be.
And tell me what you're doing there, what your firm, your marketing company is doing.
Yeah, so our specialty is actually helping thought leaders and subject matter experts, entrepreneurs, B2B business owners who are really trying to get found on LinkedIn, first of all. So they're really trying to build a personal brand. They're also trying to get connected with their target audience, which can be really tricky on LinkedIn if you don't know how to do it well, finding the right people, the decision makers, all of those things that go into a strategic prospecting and targeting, as well as also doing a lot of content and posting and things on that end. So it's kind of a hybrid of sales and marketing. So I kind of like to say we're at the sweet spot of the sales and marketing spectrum on LinkedIn. So a little bit of both, and everyone's just a little different in how much of the sales and prospecting and identification side of things they need versus the marketing side of things. So it's a blend.
So tell me something about LinkedIn that maybe most people don't know, because I think folks turn to LinkedIn, they think of it when they need to find a job or they're looking to hire, but not really about sales and marketing and exposure. So tell us something that we don't know that LinkedIn can do.
I think one of the biggest things people don't know, especially if you've never used LinkedIn for like the sales aspect of things, is just the powerful features that it has in finding the right people and like specifically targeting them. Whether you are going to reach out to them one to one in a message or whether you are going to go the advertising routes and use LinkedIn ads. I personally, we don't really focus on that at my agency, but I know exactly the ways and the tools. And I think it's really interesting that people can find just like the exact right like decision makers within a company on LinkedIn using like a tool like Sales Navigator. Even some of the free search functions on LinkedIn can be really, really good. So I think just know that if you are in the B2B space, if you're trying to find like companies, organizations, you're trying to find the right people inside those companies, LinkedIn is like one of the best search tools that you have to find that because people are always updating their profiles. Most of their profiles are always up to date. So you can find like if you're looking at the website, sometimes that can be a little outdated, but on LinkedIn, people tend to update a lot quicker. So LinkedIn is great for finding people.
And one of the things I've heard, though, and you tell me if this has changed, that LinkedIn doesn't really have a scheduler, a post scheduler. So when you post, you have to post real time. Is that something that is just they're a little bit behind the curve and they're going to be changing over the next couple of years as they've really seen a lot of growth over the last few years?
Yeah, I think it would be nice, I think in some respects to have a scheduler. I think you can use some third-party tools and hook them up to LinkedIn and you can schedule posts. But I think the beauty of LinkedIn is that most people expect that you are doing it in real time. So I think there's that feeling that people have of like the water cooler and like, oh, you just posted this. That's really interesting. And I think that actually makes people more likely to engage. Though it does not make it easy for those of us who want to like schedule everything out for the entire week. You have to actually make a note to remind yourself to post every single day or however often you are posting on LinkedIn.
So you've clearly established that LinkedIn is a much more valuable tool than people really are taking advantage of. Where do you see the evolution of LinkedIn and its impact in the sales and marketing space?
I think it's going to continue to grow. I did have some hesitations, even like a few years ago when Microsoft acquired LinkedIn. I thought, I don't know what's going to happen to LinkedIn. I was even looking at other platforms for the B2B space because most of my clients are in B2B. But then just realizing where they were investing their time and their energy and how they were really listening to the users and their experience, and they were paying attention to what we were telling them. I think I've seen that shift and the investment in LinkedIn, and then more people are joining LinkedIn every single day. There are so many users, and it's the only platform where people are there to do business versus something like Instagram or Facebook, where business owners are trying to kind of make the platform work for their needs or using ads. I think LinkedIn is still that spot where people go in the frame of business mind, like I'm going there with my professional hat on to do business, to connect with people, to network. And I think that's the beauty of LinkedIn. And I think as long as LinkedIn continues to, invest in the user experience, continues to evolve, to learn from places like Facebook and Instagram, to make stories better, to encourage more live streaming, I think LinkedIn will continue to thrive.
What's the one bit of advice if someone considers themselves a thought leader that they should be doing on LinkedIn?
I think the first thing is just fix your profile. I think a lot of people never pay attention to their profile. They set it up and they set it up like a resume instead of like your website or something that is like representing your personal brand. Even if you are inside of an organization, your profile should be completely dialed in. People should be able to go to your profile and know exactly who you are, what you do, who you help, and how you're helping them. If your profile does not get that across, that is the one thing that you need to do on LinkedIn. Even before you start posting and engaging and connecting, make sure your profile is dialed in.
That is great advice. Start at the bottom, build your way up. Mindi Rosser from Hawaii, you have a wonderful weekend. I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful weekend no matter what happens out there. Thanks for joining us.
Will do. Get some surfing
in. Thanks so much, Mindi. And what a great example Mindi is of being able to just pick up your business and do it from wherever you want to do. We've learned a couple things from her today. And that's Mindi Rosser Marketing. And if you'd like to learn more from her and more about her tips on LinkedIn, you can find her on dailyadbrief.com. And thanks so much for joining us today on Digital Champions, where you learn something new every day. I'm Charlene Jerkel. We'll see you next time.